Hello, Odd Job Doer here, and today I'm prepping a room here, maybe a little hard to see, but a room here ready to do some painting. I'm going to repaint over the walls here, change the color up. And when prepping a room, I like to go through and take off the outer covers for power supplies. And so I got a screwdriver here, just kind of come down here like so. And this particular screwdriver is pretty much made for this. Has the right size. Give a little unscrewing, and take this off. And then maybe you can see here on the top there's a little bit of dust on this. So this thing here will actually wash off and dry, and wait to put it back on later. And around the opening here of the outlet, you'll see too, you get a little bit of scum, yuck. I'll take a little damp cloth or rag and wipe that down. Now, another thing I like to do while these things are exposed, and be careful here, is that back in here you can see there's two copper contacts. Well, this stuff is still hot, and so those wires are hot, and so you don't want to get a screwdriver back there and shock yourself. But what I do like to do is maybe give it just a slight touch, and more than likely I will take a screwdriver and tighten up here a few turns, snug it down, and then down here. And usually after years or so of pulling plugs in and out, doing things with electricity, these screws will kind of back out and get a little loose. So if your outlet's loose, you can just take off the cover and give these a little tighten. And if these don't tighten up, then you're going to have to probably replace the whole box. And that will definitely take the power cutting off. Now, tools for this, maybe just a screwdriver. This one's one that I kind of like, except for you have a number 2 Phillips on here for your Phillips screws. And for your bottom ones, it takes a slotted one. But this particular one here comes out, flips around. You can see there, has a little chip in the old tooth. And so that bit's like not very helpful. So I'm sticking with 2 separate screwdrivers for the most part and doing that. Another thing you might come across is something like this right here, a phone jack. All right, well, you can tell there, and that one there, and this one here, as a close-up, this here is for your old cable antenna TV. And this probably hasn't been changed out in years. But I'm sure they still make them. I'll have to, go to the hardware store, be able to look later. But you have your antenna coming in through the wall, it goes in here. It comes out here to your TV in the room. You can see on this side it's kind of yellowish. This side it's a little more whitish. And the chances are it's probably from, I don't know, the 80s or something. What's that? Just arrived. This model. This little guy here is what you can do if people don't want to use cable TV in the room anymore, because chances are if you have high definition anything, or if you have satellite coming in, the cables running through your house, through your walls, are probably a thinner wire gauge. They're probably like RG's 5 or RG 5.5 maybe, and now they're up in like I think the 6s, maybe even 7s. I know, some pretty thick wires when you get a high definition satellite. And usually the satellite people won't even bother hooking your TV up to these here through the wall. They'll just come through and drill a hole through a wall and run some wires to where the TV's at. And this is still good though if you have like maybe a radio for AM FM. You can hook up a radio to it. But in this case, they're not going to have any TV in this room. So this one's going to go away, and we'll put this here over the plug hole. Look kind of like something like that. Of course, not on this one. Over there somewhere. This one here, is a not yellowized. So here we have a phone jack, and same thing. Phones, unfortunately, are kind of dying out, or they're going the way of internet phones. Maybe your provider somehow. But we'll take this thing out and see what we can do with it. let's see what we got behind this panel. Hopefully someone stashed some money or something. That'd be nice. And let's see here. Got that one out. Got this one out. And I give it a little bit of this here. I go down low so not to mar the top surfaces. There we go. Ooh. What we got here? No money. Just insulation. Now, this is a little bit different, trickier. This right here has its own little port wired up. But same thing, I'm sure we can go in the hardware store, get a new one of these, copy over the wiring pattern, and we can have a white one, or a matching decorative one. You know, something that's not yellowed out, it shows its age. Although, you know, who knows, same thing, if you really don't want to use this, well, I wouldn't say mess with the wires, because there's going to be a charge in one of them, probably the red one. But, let's see, you probably have green for ground, maybe. Black could be charged. I haven't really gotten too much in the telephone wiring before, but you know, I know you don't want to mess with that. So this thing here I might just leave out, or take it out later. It's low voltage, though. It shouldn't really kill you, I don't think. If it does, give me an email. You know, send me some message if you took that apart and it killed you. Let me know. And now, what we have over here is a bucket full of water. Okay, so there's no water right now, but we have a sponge here. So sponge has a kind of coarse side on one side and a sponge on the other side. And you get bigger sponge, smaller sponge. You can just get rags made, but for the most part, depending on what you have here on the wall, you want to you know, get your sponge wet. And I use the scrub side to kind of go over the whole wall with the scrub side. And then before we put another section, I'll flip it back over, you know, dunk it in the water, flip back over, do the smooth side, and you know, clean the wall. You know, after years or so, you can have some dust settling on them. You can have, if there's smoke in the house, you get smoke settling on them. And what I'll do later, just before I start to clean it, is I'll fill the bucket with warm water, and that way, when people put the little hands in there to wash the walls, it'll be warm. They won't be complaining about cold water on their hands. And so, you want to do that, you wash on the walls. And then the other thing that we'll be doing later, which I don't think I'll do here, sometimes I like to pop off the baseboards and paint them somewhere else, not having to, you know, crease down here and stuff, but you can see there's a little bit of grime on it. Same thing, wash them down. And on baseboards, what I usually do is you have your sheens. You have flat, you have, you know, eggshell, I think you have gloss, semi-gloss, high gloss, enameled. And so what we'll be doing, I think, is taking a little bit of sandpaper to buff up this right here. Because I'm not too sure what is it. I think it's probably just maybe semi-gloss, if they're even matted. It could be matted. It could be flat probably now. So either I'll just take a, you know, clean it up. But if it shows glossy, then you really have to get some sandpaper on it and kind of sand down the surface lightly, wipe it down, and then it'll be ready to put some more paint on. And for the bottom though, I'm not sure what it is now, but when we're done with that, we're going to use a high gloss white, so it helps anything that bumps against it. You know, it keeps it from, hopefully it keeps it from getting the paint scratched as easy. The walls for a bedroom here, I think we're just using maybe a satin. You know, something not too shiny. But likewise, what we'll be doing is going around after we get the plugs all off here. Is we'll also be getting some of this action. Up here there was a curtain rod hanging there. I might go back over a little bit of primer on this spot here that pulls some of the paint off. This hole here is an old hole, which is not needed. So once again, I'll mix up some of that wall compound, stick it in there, sand it down later. And, you know, stuff like this here, we got this edge. This here's what I'm going to hit with some sandpaper and repaint it white. There's a little bit of a crack here, and to really be a professional look, to finish it up, I'll get some gloss white caulking, silicone, and you know, square in there, do the good old finger method to smooth it out. Maybe there'll be another video, who knows. But it should look pretty good after it's done. You know, we got light switches here. Over here there's a light fixture. Same thing, this is one they want to replace. And actually, the box covered this whole spot. That's why you can see different coloring. And so I will fill in this hole here. Most light fixtures are supposed to mount up here and then have a thing from it. These wires are hot, but there's a switch that controls them. So I have it turned off and just put the caps back on. And what else we got for this room? Yeah. Door molding, probably same thing with the floor molding. Give it a little sandpaper, wipe it down, and redo that in gloss. And yeah, that's about it then. So to kind of do a quick recap, take it off all these little panels, and you carefully paint around. You know, even light switches, carefully paint around them. You know, when you have a screwdriver, you tighten top and bottom here. Don't stick in the sides here because there's hot wires in there. Most of the people that install these things are usually a little bit on the lazy side, and they don't do electrical tape around them, like it says to do on some manuals. Some people believe in that, and probably some codes have that too. But this here also has a little bit of extra grime on the switch here, so I'll take a little brush or something to get that grime off. And then, so we tighten these up, wipe it down, get the grime off here. Let's see, wipe down the whole wall. There's like a little bit of, it's hard to see, there's little spots on the wall from, you know, something on it running down. Surfaces like this, we keep the holes, like I said, I'll probably maybe prime over a little bit, and I'll use some filler for that. And then sand it down, wipe it down, maybe prime over the filler. But I don't want the holes to go away, so same in here. I took down the mini blinds. You know, there's a couple of holes here, and these I might fill up because I don't remember using them. But these down here, I'll leave open to put the mini blinds back up. It's okay to paint over them, just don't paint where you actually fill in the holes, so then you know where to put them again. And that's about it. You know, you bust out your paint, you stir it up real good, and get whatever way you're gonna apply it. You know, we do brushes around this fine stuff here. We do rollers on the wall. And real carefully we'll do it to the top. I don't even tape. I just kind of eye it and careful. And get it painted. Let it dry for, you know, we have time here to let it dry for a week or so. It only takes, you know, a few days would be good to get your paint dry. That way when you put on your light switch covers again and your power covers, they don't actually get stuck to the wall, like up here. This here probably was put back on, the bracket was put back on too soon. And anyway, just want to do a little quick video here on how to prep for a paint job. And so if you have any comments or ideas or clues here, you know, leave them below. And you know, subscribe if you like. Subscribe if you don't like. And thanks for watching. And yeah, odd job doer. Out.